The Pinar Maneater. The Pinar Maneater was a male leopard who was responsible for over 400 fatal attacks, which were all carried out in the darkness of night. This leopard single-handedly terrorized the villagers in the Pinar region in Almora district of India during the early 20th century. Years would go by with the leopard having his way and picking villagers off with ease. The locals, gripped with fear, refused to even step outside of their homes after sunset. The leopard would eventually adapt to this and began to snatch the villagers from inside of their homes, dragging them into the jungle to devour them. The leopard was so efficient in hunting humans that the government eventually had to step in and offer some assistance, the best way that they knew how. They called upon Jim Corbett, the legendary hunter who had a reputation for killing man-eaters, as we already covered some of his stories on this list. But to kill this elusive animal, it would take Corbett multiple hunting trips before he would ever even get a glimpse of the cat. Corbett would travel for days on foot through the dense Indian forest to reach an area where the leopard was known to hunt. And on his journey, he would even contract malaria. And that was still not enough to stop him. Once he finally reached the village where the leopard was last seen, he would set up a base on top of a tree, but not before tying up a small goat 30 yards away to hopefully lure out the cat. Hours would go by while he waited at his post, and as it began to get dark, the birds would be the first to give him a sign, as they would begin to act out in complete fear. And soon after, he began to hear something brushing against the bushes right next to him, and all he could do was sit and wait. And this would go on for a few minutes. But eventually, whatever was in the bushes slowly worked its way towards the small goat, and killing it. And in the complete darkness, Corbett was forced to guess where the monster could be, taking a shot towards the direction of the goat, followed by an angry grunt. And for a second, the scenery lit up from the shot, seeing the cat falling backwards and hearing it run back into the forest. The villagers were persistent and convinced Corbett to track the animal down that night, instead of waiting for the morning like he wanted. He told them that the only way he would do it is if they promised to hold their ground if they came across the beast, as they would be the only source of light that he would have. They agreed and promised. They would then begin to track the blood trail left from the cat, following the trail through the jungle, when out of the darkness the cat would emerge, charging straight at them. With the local villagers running for their lives, and in their panic they began to trip over one another, dropping the torches to the jungle floor. And in the chaos, Corbett would take multiple shots at the leopard, and killing it. He would go on to write in his book that if the locals had not fallen down and tripped over each other, he would have been left standing there in the complete darkness, and the cat might have been the one walking away instead of him.